few more, not working. But next minute, guess where I wake up? Hospital. So I ring the doctor. I said, Doc, guess what? I've overdosed on the placebos. He said, you can't. I said, I'm in hospital. He said, you can't. They're just sugar pills. I said, well, maybe you should have asked if I was diabetic before you gave them to me. I thought I had vertigo. I asked the doctor, and he said, well, it's going round and round and round. But these doctors are good, aren't they? They've got this way of breaking news. They've got this whole good news, bad news thing. I actually was there with a friend of mine. He'd had some tests done, he'd been coughing and stuff like that. We got in there, and I said to him, I said, you watch, he'll try and give you this good news, bad news, don't fall for it. So the doctor said to him, he said, well, I've got some good news and bad news. I said, see, I told you. And he said, give me the bad news, Doc. He said, well, the bad news is, at some stage you've inhaled a gut full of asbestos, and you've got that asbestosis, that mesothelioma. And he said, geez, that's no good. He said, yeah, and it will kill you. There's no coming back from it. It's pretty downtrodden. Asking for the good news. He said, well, what's the good news? He said, well, there's very little chance of your lungs ever bursting into flames. And I'm trying to do the right thing now. I've got a daughter, so I've developed a social conscience. And I was a bit appalled by the joke that we heard about the homeless people. Because I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm actually seeing a homeless girl at the moment. It's pretty sweet. At the end of the day, I'll just drop her off anyway. But I reckon it just sounds a bit, a bit whingy, whiny, concentrating on the negative, calling them homeless. So we prefer to call her free range. It doesn't really work, does it? It's not the same. But my dad used to bring home these dogs. Actually, a friend of mine, mad for money, this guy, he's always up with schemes. I saw him walking down the street. He had these greyhounds with him. I said to him, what are you doing with the greyhounds? And he said, money, mate, think about it. He said, I'm going to breed with them, then I'm going to race them. I said, well, I get sleepy after sex, but I still don't reckon you'll beat them. They're way too quick. Then I saw him a little bit later, and he had this massive pit bull. Big, angry looking thing. I said, what are you doing with that now? He said, I'm going to make some money again, dog fighting. I said, not with, he said, no, I know other dogs, smartass. I said, all right. I said, but you do realise they're bred just specifically to kill other dogs. And he said, yep, that's why I've got it. He said, I'll pay thousands for it. Purebred, it will kill anything. I said, you're kidding, what's it called? He said, Rupert. It's just going to make it even angrier because the other dog's going to take the piss out of it. Anyway, next time I saw him, he didn't have it. I said, what happened to Rupert? He said, I took him back to the bloke I bought him from. I said, why? He said, I don't think he was purebred. I said, what makes you say that? He said, when we got to the fights, he'd only argue. I said, so what are you going to do now? He said, I'm going to get one of those little fluffy white dogs for the missus. I said, I don't reckon anyone would swap. She's pretty average, your girl. We've got all these weird breeds of dogs now. We've got these Pugglies, part pug, part Cavalier. We've got these Labradoodles, part Labrador, part... So they combine one dog with another dog to get characteristics combined with two dogs. And they reckon this is a new thing. I don't think it is. Because I reckon 20 years ago, my old man brought one of these dogs home. It would have been called a shits inside. Thank you. I'm Michael Ray. Thanks.